The liner pool question. So my liner is coming away from my pool, and behind the pool liner, I have wood walls. About 6 years ago, my pool guy told me getting a new liner would help with some of the problems I was having. I had purchased the house with the pool, so it was all new to me. I do see buster crab pools on the coping plates around the pool. After the new liner was put in, it started to slowly pull away from the side of the pool. This year it's really pulling away and looks pretty bad. When I asked my pool guy about it, he said the previous people who put in the liner track used non-stainless steel screws, which are rusted to the bare minimum. He says it can be fixed, but it's quite expensive, and he's not sure of the pool walls, besides what is visible, are also damaged, and that once the water is removed, it may cave in. So here's where I'm confused. My guy put in a new liner 6 years ago. The pool was drained, everything was visible. Why was he not able to foresee the problem with the screws? I imagine the liner attaches to the track with the screws. I'm confused. I'm really hoping you, who seem to know everything, can give me some real facts. I would sincerely appreciate a reply if you have the time.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing because we closed a pool just the other day that has this very, very same issue. And this was a renovation that we did on a pool 25 years ago. The track fatigues over time, that liner track and the coping, with the concrete constantly moving, it fatigues, and the liner starts sliding out of the coping and you can't keep it in. So 25 years ago, we put a face mount track on that then we could hang the new liner in. And based on what I've heard so far, is that's what's happened. Somewhere along the way, someone mounted a face mount coping on the wood, and over time the screws have let go. And that's not uncommon. This is very much the same thing that we were seeing after 25 years. There's areas where the coping was pulling away from the wall, not the liner. The liner as a result, but it's the coping that was doing it. So with I'm sorry about that. So in our case, what I explained to the homeowner was it's time to replace the liner, and yes, we need to remove all of this, some of which had some rusted screws that had started to let go and all of that, but the solution was remove all of those, put a brand new face mount coping on, and put a new liner in. And if the liner came out 6 years ago successfully and the pool didn't cave in, likely the same would be true this time around. Probably what needs to happen is, based on you talking about the screws coming loose, to me that sounds like it's got to be a coping, a clip that's screwed around the face of the wood of the top of the pool that allows the liner to lock into it. Those screws don't hold the liner. The screws hold the coping track. The coping track is what locks the liner in place, and the coping track is what holds it in place. If the coping track is staying in place and the liner is just sagging out and you're getting smileys where it's just sagging out, that's an indication that the coping track itself is no longer doing its job and is letting the liner go. So while I don't know that I completely disagree with some of what your pool guy has said, I also think that maybe he's not wanting to delve into this again. Maybe there's something else that he saw in there before as to why he wouldn't want to do another liner or try to repair it. But if you're going to keep the old liner and try to repair the track, it is definitely going to be a lot of work. Ideally, what you do is replace the liner at the same time, put new face mount coping track on, and replace the liner, and that should solve it. And as long as the walls aren't falling in, which I've dealt with an awful lot of wood wall pools over the years, I think you should be fine. Let me find